Tensions rise, the latest developments in NATO-Russia relations. The relationship between NATO and Russia has always been complex and strained since the breakup of the Soviet Union. However, the tensions between the two powers have escalated over the past few years, with a series of incidents that have soured their relationship. The latest developments in NATO-Russia relations suggest that these tensions are unlikely to dissipate anytime soon. One of the main areas of contention between NATO and Russia has been the expansion of NATO. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union, NATO began to expand its membership, which Russia saw as a threat to its national security. In particular, Russia has been opposed to the accession of countries that were previously part of the Soviet bloc, such as Poland, Hungary, and the Baltic states. Russia has accused NATO of encroaching on its borders and seeking to isolate it regionally. Recent developments have recalibrated this historical enmity into a more active confrontation. The events that followed the annexation of Crimea in 2014 turned out to be a significant turning point in NATO-Russia relations. This event served as a wake-up call to NATO that its policies towards Russia must change, while on the other hand, Russia was galvanized to stand up to NATO and assert its position. The Kremlin's perspective. The Kremlin has repeatedly emphasized that it believes that NATO is a destabilizing force. Russia accuses NATO of trying to start a new Cold War and of pursuing policies that are meant to undermine its sovereignty and territorial integrity. NATO's decision to boost its military presence in Poland and the Baltic states has been opposed by Russia. Russia argues that such actions are provocative and are intended to threaten its national security. In response, Russia has taken steps to boost its own military presence in the region in order to counterbalance NATO's moves. United States strategy towards Russia. The United States has been the main driving force behind NATO's actions towards Russia. The American policymakers have long held a suspicion of Russia's intentions, and the events of the past few years appear to have confirmed their fears. As a result, the United States has taken a hard line towards Russia, imposing sanctions and other measures to punish Moscow for its actions. The U.S. administration has been particularly critical of Russia's involvement in the conflict in Syria. The United States accuses Russia of supporting the regime of Bashar al-Assad and of committing war crimes against civilians. Moreover, the U.S. has blamed Russia for the poisoning of former Russian intelligence officer Sergei Skripal in the UK, which led to widespread diplomatic expulsions between the two countries. Rising tensions and potential consequences. The rising tensions between NATO and Russia have already had significant consequences. The fear of war in Europe has returned, with the possibility of a military confrontation between NATO and Russia being talked about openly. The economic consequences of the deteriorating relationship have also been significant. The sanctions imposed by the United States and the European Union have hurt the Russian economy, leading to a slowdown in growth and a decline in living standards. In response, Moscow has taken steps to reduce its dependence on the West, seeking closer ties with China and other countries. Bilateral talks. Despite these tensions, both NATO and Russia have signaled that they are willing to engage in dialogue. The NATO-Russia Council has met regularly, and there have been attempts to reach a compromise on several issues. However, such talks have failed to yield significant results, with both sides remaining deeply entrenched in their positions. In conclusion, the latest developments in NATO-Russia relations indicate that the tensions between these two powers are unlikely to subside anytime soon. Both sides believe that they have legitimate concerns and are unwilling to compromise on their positions. Unless there is a change in mindset and policy, the risk of a military confrontation or a further deterioration of relations remains high. The future of Europe and the wider international system will be shaped by the choices that both sides make in the coming years.